Hi everyone, it's Brenda Quintana here. I'm sharing a recorded video for you this week because I am away in Canada, but I will be back next week doing a live video for you. But I didn't want you to miss out on a great week. We have a great special going on this month with Perfect Partners. We have 6 dies that match 6 existing stamp sets, and you can buy them as a bundle too. And one of the bundles, the one I'm going to be featuring today, is the Yeti to Party bundle. And it's just so adorable. This is the stamp set that was in the holiday catalog. And now we have a matching die set to go with it. And so I wanted to do a fancy fold card with it. And I created one to match the Yeti because I had seen a card similar to this, but it wouldn't work with the size of the Yeti. So I sat there and I tried to figure out the dimensions, and it took me a while, but this card, it will fit in a regular size envelope, a Stampin' Up! Medium size envelope. So it's squishes down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But when it's extended, it is just so cute. And I love that this says Holiday Hugs on the outside. And then when you open it up down here, it says and Winter Wishes. I think this would be really cute for grandchildren, kids. It's such a fun card. And well, I like it as an adult too. So anyway, I'm going to show you how to make this card today. And I also use this same card to make my thank you cards for August. So if you're placed an order with me in August, you probably should have received your thank you card already because I mailed them off about a week and a half ago. And so I will show those thank you cards that I made. They're a little easier than this one at the end of my video. They're really beautiful, and I want to show you how you can use this layout to make, actually, once you've got the card base cut up, you just add a few layers and a label, and it's just a totally beautiful card. So I'm excited to share all of those cards with you today. And I just wanted to say, I hope you will, if you like this video, I hope you will like it and subscribe to my channel. If you want a project sheet for this video today, I will be sending a project sheet to my email list subscribers on Saturday, and but you need to be an email list subscriber to get it. So look down in the description of the video down below and subscribe to my email list. It's free, and you will get this in your inbox on Saturday. And I usually include some diagrams and just a way for you to make the card a little bit easier in conjunction with my video. All right, that's probably all I have to say right now. I'll talk to you a little bit more about the supply, how to find the supplies, all at the end of the video. Okay, let me switch over to my other camera. I'm going to prop up my project sheet because I'm going to follow along like maybe some of you are doing after the fact. Let's take another look at my card. So it extends out like this, and you can see it's kind of got this going on. So I've called it a fancy fold shutter card because it's kind of like a shutter card, the tri-fold shutter card, except not as many folds. And so I liked, this is what I've called it, the fancy fold shutter card. So cute. Okay, and I already talked about the Yeti to Party bundle. These dies are not going to be around forever. So if you want them, order them sooner than later. These are while supplies last, so they could run out before the end of September. Okay, let me put this aside, and we're going to need to start off with a piece of cardstock. And I'm using Pool Party for my background here. And this card base measures 9 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to start off by using the trimmer. I love the Stampin' Up! Trimmer because you can line things up and cut out things in the center of your cardstock really precisely. So we're going to take the 5.5-inch side, one of the short sides, and put it up at the top. And I'm going to line up my cardstock on the 1-inch mark. Now, I just wanted to point out, I could also line it up on this side, but there's nothing supporting the side over here. So when I've got a really small measurement to line up, like under about 1.25 inches or less, I usually line it up on this side of the ruler over on this side. So there's the 1-inch mark. I'm just gonna line that up. And then we're going to cut a slot into here. So we're not going to cut all the way. We're going to cut from the 1.25 inch mark to the 8-inch mark. So I'm going to keep this up with my thumb, and I'm going to slide down right here till I get to the 1.25 inch mark. There's a little line right here. I'm going to place this down, and then I'm going to gently pull this from 1.25 all the way down to 8, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to lift up and I'm going to turn this piece 180. So really, this is 5.5 inch side, and I'm going to turn it to the opposite side. Okay, so now my cut is over here. I'm going to line up at the 1-inch mark again, and it doesn't matter. This card at this point is symmetrical. So it's okay to turn it around because there's the same distance on this end and this end. Okay, so I'm lining up at the 1-inch mark again and I haven't put this down yet. I'm going to bring my cutting place over to 1.25, and then I'm going to pull down to the 8-inch mark. If you have trouble with that, if you're making a lot of cards, I suggest putting like a little tiny piece of Post-it note or something, and just a little tiny piece of it right where you need to cut from 1.25 to 8, so that you know exactly where you need to cut. Now, I prefer to switch over to my scoring tool for the scoring because I feel like I can I sometimes risk cutting when I'm on my trimmer. So I'm going to switch over. You could also do exactly what I'm doing with the scoring blade on the trimmer if you prefer. Okay, so I'm going to line now one of the long sides up at the top, and I'm going to score the inside first. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to score the inside between the cut marks. We're going to do one on the outside, and then we're going to do one all the way down. So first we're going to do the inner ones from cut mark to cut mark, okay? So it's a little hard to figure out where you're going. So I like to use a ruler to kind of help guide me to the right spot where I need to score. So for this first one, I need to score at the 1.25 inch mark on the inside. So my ruler doesn't fit all the way over. It starts at 1.5 inch here. So I'm going to move it over to 1.25 inches, but I'm going to put it over on this side, and then I'm going to find, here's my cut line right here, and I'm just going to score down to the 8-inch mark. Just want to show you what I just did. I'm scoring in between the two cut lines, and that was at the 1.25 inch mark. Now I can slide this over to the 6.75 inch mark. So I'm just putting it just beside the score groove, okay? And I'm going to score just the inside. Okay, so just from here to here. And then finally, I'm going to move over to the 8-inch mark, just a little bit beside it. And I'm going to not score the top, start right at my cut line and come down to my cut line. So let me show you those marks. Let me see if I can angle it. So I've got this one, 1.25, 6.75, and then 8. Okay, Keep it in the same alignment. Don't turn it. Still the same long side up at the top. And now we're going to score on the outside. So I'm going to line this up at the 5-inch mark. And I'm going to not score on the inside, just the outside. So right here on this border, and then come down here and do the border down here. So you can kind of see what I did. So that was at the 5-inch mark. And then we're going to do one all the way score at the 2.5-inch mark. This one's going to come all the way down. Okay, and I will have those instructions are on my sheet here, and they will also, there's also a diagram in here that will show you what it looks like, so you can get an idea of how to do that. Okay, so let me pop this over here, and I want to show you how to fold this. So let's keep it oriented like I had before. So this is the way it came right out of my scoring tool. So over here on the left side, we're going to start by folding this inner piece, okay? So we're going to fold a mountain fold first, and then we're going to do a valley fold just for the inner, and then mountain, valley. So I've done mountain, valley, mountain, valley for the inners. And then we've got the 2 on the outside. So we're going to do mountain and then valley. So always start with a mountain and end with a valley. And so I've kind of got it going, and you want to kind of just get the folds started. And then I'm just going to start, I'm going to make them a little deeper, and I like to bring this in and just kind of fold it in like this. Okay, the first time you do this, it's probably going to feel a little weird. So I start over here on this end, I bring this in, but it's easier to do it if you do it when it's facing you. So I bring this in, and then I just kind of gently start folding this back, and then I bring this in. Okay, so there's 2 ways that you can orient this card. This is what I call the little C orientation, or you can flip this over and you can have the big C orientation. I've done it both ways. So for this card, I have the big C here, and you can really tell at the front when this card is like this, the whole big C takes up the whole front. And so that's what this would look like. But you can also do it with this little C here. Okay, so it just really depends how you want to decorate your card and what you want it to look like. For my card, for this one, I wanted to hide this greeting over here. So that's why I have the big C. If it's the little c, then you'll see both greetings. And I thought it looked better when you couldn't see that afterwards. It looked a little busy if I had both greetings visible when the card was flat. So just make your choice on what you want to do with that. Okay, so I'm going to show you now how to create the paper piece for the outside. If you want to do the inside, I'm just going to show you real quick with some paper that I'm going to use for my thank you cards. I've just got some pieces of paper cut up, and I'll just give you the dimensions for those. So if you're going to cut, I'll just show you what this looks like. So here is the thank you card that I created, and this paper is a different paper. It is called Lovely in Linen Designer Series paper, and I'm using the Lovely and Lasting bundle. So if you want to just do paper on the inside, this is quite easy to do. So you just cut up 2 strips of 1 inch by 3 1/4, and then they'll go on either side of here. And then this piece measures 4 inches by 3 1/4. So this just makes a really lovely thank you card, and it's fairly easy because then I just stamped and punched out this label and put it on top. I'll show you the other designs, other thank you card designs that I made at the end. But that's the easy way to do that. Now I wanted to do the outside frame for this card. So let me show you how I did that. So I'm starting off with a piece that measures 9 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And we're going to grab the trimmer right now. And we're going to put one of the long sides up at the top. And this paper, I'll tell you what this paper is called. It is the Sweetest Christmas paper. Okay, so we'll put one of the long sides up at the top, and we're going to put this over at the 1 inch mark. This time we're going to cut from the 3 1/4 inch mark to the 4 1/2. Basically, we're cutting out a hole in the center of the paper. So we're going to move this over to 3 1/4 and cut down to 4 1/2. Lift this up and turn it to the other long side. Here's my cut mark. It's going to be over on this side. The other long side is at the 1 inch mark, and we're going to cut from 3 1/4 inches to 4 1/2. So now it's just about connecting these two and bringing them together to cut out the center of this piece. So now on the short side, I'm going to line up with the 3/4 inch mark, okay? Different lining up point. And then we're going to cut from the cut line to the cut line. So this one is now at 1 inch, and we're going to come all the way down to 8 inches. So lift. And you can see this is starting to come out of the center. Line the other side up with a 3/4 inch mark on the right here. And we're going to complete cutting this out. So this starts at 1 inch, and I'm coming down to 8 inch. All right. And all of these measurements will also be on the project sheet. So now we've got this piece, and we're going to create first this little C piece right here. So we need our trimmer back in. This extra piece from the inside, you can use this for a different project because we won't need it. So now I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to line it up at the 2 1/4 inch mark over here on this side. Line it up. And then we'll just cut this. This is what I call the small C. And this is going to fit, we'll turn it around like this. This is going to fit over here on this side, okay? And then we're going to turn this around, and we're going to line this one up with the 4 inch mark. And this one will make the large C. This is going to be the one that's going to be visible on the front of the card. So just cut this down. So this is the large C, and this is going to fit over here because I've actually turned my card around from the original, but you just need to orient your card correctly. And then these two pieces need to be trimmed down as well. So the two leftover pieces need to be 2 1/4 inches long. So I just need to shorten them up a little bit. 2 1/4. All right. And you have two leftover pieces, and you can use them or throw them out, whatever you want. And those are going to fit over there. All right, so let's just adhere all of these pieces down. so that they don't get lost. Okay, so I'll start with this one. And remember, you have to decide which way your card is going. And this one, I think I've got this oriented the wrong way. This side, because this side needs to be up and it's going to close like this, okay? So make sure you get that orientation right, otherwise you're going to be on the wrong side. And then it will fold incorrectly. So I like to start this off by coming on the end here, and you're going to see about 1/8 of an inch on here around all of these pieces. So you're just going to slide it into place before the glue dries. Slide this one into place too. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to do the small C over on this side. The big C was the hardest one because it's such a big piece. And then we'll just glue this one in place. And it's kind of hard to match these guys back up, but you'll be able to kind of do it on one side. So I'm just going to add these on here. And this will just create the little frame. And this piece, you don't have to do this outer if you don't want to, but I know some of you will want to do it, so I wanted to give you the option on how to do it. All right, so all of those pieces are now in place, and now we need to create the inside part, the most important part of the card. First of all, let's stamp some snowflakes because they're small and I might forget them. So this is a snowflake from the Yeti to Party stamp set, and I'm just inking it up in Pool Party ink, and I'm going to stamp one here and one here and then one down here, just to add just a little bit of interest to the card. Okay. We're going to have to do a bit of die cutting. That's why we got the dies. So let's start off and grab a piece of cardstock. This is just regular basic white. I'm going to grab my Yeti, and this is tuxedo black ink, and I'm just going to ink this guy up. There's a little piece of linen from my linen thread. I'm going to remove that. Okay, Yeti, you are getting stamped right now. This one you could actually stand up and press down if you wanted to. Okay, you look good, Yeti. And then I also want this little mug. Ink that up, and I'm going to just plop that over here, and we'll die cut both of those. Let me see, what else do I need? Okay, I think we are good for getting ready to die cut. So I'm going to bring in my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Let me roll this over. And I've got my platform number 1, thin die adapter number 2, clear plate number 3. We're going to pop this on here. We're going to pop the Yeti on here and grab a little bit of the labeling and covering up tape. Let's see if I can make this a little shorter. We don't need that much. Let me line this guy up, or girl, I'm not sure. It's hard to tell. Yeti's being fictional. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the little mug so I don't have to do any fancy cutting or anything like that. So let me just come around here, stick that down, pin that down so it doesn't move. I also want to cut a scarf, so let's do that while I'm here. And the scarf is one of those extra pieces that this came with, so I'm just going to use real red, and we'll also be doing some embossing in just a second. So let me run this through with these 3 pieces first. Okay. So we've got the cute scarf. I love that. You can see the little texture on it. Let me turn it. There we go. You can see the little embossed lines on there. And then we've got the mug right there, which we didn't have to fussy it cut. And then the big Yeti, which he's right there. Awesome. Okay, so I also want to die cut a background for this piece, and I want to emboss a background piece. So this layer right here is going to be right here, and this measures 4 inches by 3 1/4. So I've just got a piece of that, and then I'm going to use, this is the Charming Landscapes embossing folder. These are in the mini catalog that we have right now, and I'm going to use these ones. It kind of looks like the Yeti background, and I'm just going to pop this over here. This actually is the perfect size for here. And this one is a thin embossing folder. It's not a thick one. So we can get rid of the number 2 plate right now. We don't need it. We're going to work on the number 1 plate with a clear plate on the bottom, the embossing folder with the cardstock sandwich in between, and then another clear plate on top. If I can, I put them through on an angle because it's just easier, because then you're not going over a straight line. The roller takes a corner more easily than a straight line. And then I'll just pop this out, and look at that. Isn't that a fun background for my Yeti? And the cool thing about this is if I needed to kind of die cut my Yeti, because if I had stamped the Yeti and then embossed him, the mountain would be on top of his body. So this die cutting really does help the matter. You could also fussy cut it, so there's still that option. All right, let's bring the Yeti in. Let's bring the mug in. We're going to do a little coloring. So the face. I'm going to do the face in Petal Pink Light. The one in the catalog that was colored, they did it in Pool Party, and I actually really liked the look of that. But since I'm using a Pool Party card base, it looked too blue. So that's why I went with Petal Pink for the face. All right, then we're going to come in, we're going to color this mug in Pool Party Light. That was also, my Petal Pink was also the light. And then the Yeti, he likes hot chocolate, so I'm going to use crumb cake, and I'm going to use the light as well. I mean, it could be coffee, but I really think a Yeti drinks hot cocoa or hot chocolate more than coffee. And you can dispute me on that, but that's what I think. Okay. All right, let me bring in my card base. We've got most of the pieces now that we need. I've got this embossed piece, and I'll just go ahead and glue that down. And I like that Yeti, since I'm assuming the Yeti is white. You don't have to do a lot of coloring on him or her. and that's a good thing. All right. Okay, so we've got that. And I want to make sure this mug gets covered up. So let me just grab a dimensional here, one of these little hexagon guys. And I just want to kind of check out where this guy's going to land. And you know what I could do? Make my life a little easier. Grab a little pencil. And I'm going to just mark where this end is right here with a little pencil mark. And I want to make sure that when I stick this down, it's right around the pencil mark, but I'm going to go in just a little bit because I want to hide the mug when this is closed, okay? So you can just see my pencil mark right there, and I just put it just on the inside because I want to make it look kind of cool. Like all of a sudden the mug is there, right? Okay, so then we can take the Yeti. And the Yeti does not have to hold a hot cocoa. So I'm just going to slip this in there, and the arm is just going to be just a little bit underneath there. Like that. Okay, so now you can see the Yeti is right there. All right, so I think we just have a couple last things to do. Oh, the Yeti needs his scarf. He just really looks cute with the scarf. I'm just going to put glue on the neckline because I'm going to flare up the ends a little bit. I'll just add that around there. And if you want, just curl this just a little bit with your fingers. I know it will get flattened a little bit if you're mailing it, but if you give it just a little curl, it might pop up again when the card is open. So it's just got a little bit of pop-up ability. Okay, so to create these, the little greetings up top here, I'm going to use a little strip of basic white, and I've cut this to half an inch wide. And this is the Best Label punch. It comes with the Alphabest bundle, but here I'm just using it as a standalone. So I want to create little labels to stamp on. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to feed this through here. So I'm feeding it through the side and up through the center. Let me show you that again. So this is half an inch wide. Feed it in through the side and then lift it up and pull it through. And I'm going to just come to the end, and I'm going to punch that first side. So when this end disappears and I can't see it anymore, that's when I want to punch it. Okay, so that's the first end of my label. Then I'll stick this end that I just punched back in through the side and up. And this time I'm going to align it right here with the edge of my punch. Okay, so that's the first label. I'm going to do it again. So do the exact same thing again. Pull it through. I'm going to make a different label this time. When that disappears, I'm going to punch the first end, then feed the end that I just punched through again, lift it up. And this time I want this one to be like a little bit shorter. So you see I'm going to kind of line it up with the edge of the circle rather than the edge of the punch, and then give it a punch. Okay, and I could probably get 1 or 2 more labels out of this skinny piece. Eventually I'm going to run out of room, but it's just you can use it, scrap pieces of cardstock with this. Okay, so I've got my 2 little labels, and guess what? I didn't put my words on too. So let me grab out everything I need. Need to put them on blocks. Grab some blocks here. Whoops. I'm throwing things away. Okay. So I'm going to put Winter Wishes here on a bit of an angle. Actually, I'm going to grab a slightly bigger block because this is a bigger stamp. Plop that down. Then I've got the little and then I've got holiday hugs. Okay. Bring in the Memento ink pad. Open it up. And let's start off by stamping holiday hugs on the tiny label. Here we go. And then we're going to do and winter wishes. So when we're stamping this one, I want to make sure that it's far over on the right side. And then we'll grab the little and. I'll just pop that over on the side. There. Perfect, huh? I love that I can use another little punch to make some little labels. I think I really like the Alphabet stamp set, so if I can find another use for it and create little labels, that makes me happy. So then I'm just going to add these here. So this one will come up, oops, this one will come up here, and we'll adhere it right here, kind of near the top left corner. And then this one, this is going to fold and hide this one. So I can center this over here on this side because this one is going to cover it up. Okay. So when this closes, it says holiday hugs and then and winter wishes. And then I just want to grab a rhinestone jewel. And I'll just add one of them, one of these small guys here, and I'll just add it to the mug. There's a little star on the mug, and that's just a little bling on there, which I think looks really cute. So there's how you make the card. It's not too hard once you know how to make it. So if you want to write on this card, what I suggest you do is use this back piece, cut yourself another piece of basic white to 4 inches by 3 1/4 inches, and then put it right on there, and then you can write your greeting right on the back. I think everyone's who receives this card is going to go, wow, that's amazing. And I haven't seen a Yeti stamp from Stampin' Up before, so it's kind of a new thing, and I think he's just so cute. So don't forget the Yeti bundle is only available in September while supplies last. So I'm not sure if there will be enough to last to the end of September. I don't know. I'm going to be away, so I hope it's still available when this video goes live. So that's the first card. And then I wanted to share with you my thank you cards. I made 4 different designs using the Lovely and Lasting bundle. I'm just going to move some of these out of the way so we have room. There's one. There is another one. Here's another one. I'm running out of room. And here is the 4th one. I made 4 different designs. They fold the same way, except I did a little C this time. Small C is on this side instead of the big C. So that's a slightly different look, but isn't that cool? This one is Evening Evergreen card base, and this one, all the other ones are Night of Navy. The labels come from the Lovely and Lasting bundle for this one, and I used this frame here, I used the thank you, and I used this little floral right here, and I used Night of Navy ink, and I believe it was Sweet Sorbet ink. I'll put that in the supply list for you. And this one I did Evening Evergreen ink just to match the card base, but they all, I just stamp them and then punch them out with this punch. And so this is a bundle as well. So if you want to get this bundle, make sure you get it these products, make sure you get them as a bundle so you can save 10%. I just love the way these thank you cards turned out. I think they're so pretty with the paper, and they're really easy to make because you are using paper in the background instead of, and it's the easy cuts. You don't have to do, these are 4 inches by 3¼ inches, and these pieces are 1 inch by 3¼ so very easy to do this inside cut. I think this would make a really nice birthday card too, and there is a happy birthday in this stamp set. So just wanted to share with you those thank you cards from last month. All right, I'm coming back. I hope you liked those cards. I think it's a really good fold, and you'll really like my project sheet that will help you create those cards. So if you're planning on placing an order, I'm going to have all the supplies in the description of the video below. I'll also have the supplies on my blog as well. And on my blog, you will have a clickable supply list with photos. So you'll actually see the products, not just the name of the product. And if you're planning on ordering, please use the host code, my September 2022 host code, KZT7PTCG. And if you use that host code, then when you spend, if you spend at least $50 with me in the month, over, you are going to get a sampler pack of the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. And this is a 6x6 sampler. The original comes in a 12x12 size. But this is a great sampler pack, and that will be your gift for ordering from me in September. But you need to spend at least $50. Now, for almost any size order, if your order is over $15, you will also get to pick one of my free with purchase tutorials. And if you spend $50, you will get that as well. Don't forget, this month we have something called September deals. So each week we are going to have some featured products that are on sale just for the week. The deals change over on, so the one that you're going to be looking at was posted, I believe, yesterday. And then we're going to have another one next week. So each week we'll have new deals, so make sure you check those out every week. You might have some add-ons that you want to, if you're placing an order anyway, you might want to add some of that stuff on. I would just placed an order in the first week of September, and I saw 2 things that I wanted to add on to the order, so I would manage to squeeze those onto my order. So it really helps if you're already placing an order, just to have those specials as well. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will be back next week. I'll be back live. I'll be back from Canada, so I hope to see and get a chance to chat with you all then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.